So in looking at 20 years of motivating the masses, I have a myriad of memories that I look back on, almost an unbelievable catalog of experiences. And I would say this is one of my favorite, but I wouldn't define it as favorite for why people think favorite, not a highlight moment in the traditional sense, but it was a profound moment. It was a moment when I had to choose to walk forward because the light was shining really bright on me. And I realized that sometimes we don't leap or we don't run or we don't jump out there, not because we're afraid of failing, but we don't leap or run or jump because we're actually afraid it might work and we might be seen and we don't know what we're doing. Hold on, let me move from we. I didn't know what I was doing. The year was 2011. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. The year was 2011, 2010, 2011. And I was contracted to go to Johannesburg, South Africa, and do a tour. And I believed I knew what I was going to do the tour on. It was the law of attraction. After all, The Secret had come out. I'd been on Oprah. I'd been on Larry King. Everyone was hiring me to go talk about the law of attraction. So I made an assumption. First mistake. So I get on the plane, and at the time, so this was, so this must have been 13 years. This was a while ago because Margaret wasn't with me yet, and Margaret is my first employee. I had a volunteer with me. And I'm sitting on the plane and on my way to Johannesburg, and I decide to open the press release to really read what I already knew. Never assume. Assuming is a dangerous business. I open the press release and I go to read Lisa's here to teach us about the law of attraction. What I actually read was Lisa Nichols will help us heal our cultural wounds of the past. She will. How's she gonna do that? Like literally, that's what I thought. How is she gonna do that? Heal your cultural wounds of the past. This was, apartheid was over, but the influence, of course, the pain, the hurt, the hatred, all of that was still very much alive. And for understandable reasons. I get to Johannesburg and I am so afraid because I don't know how I'm going to help heal the cultural wounds of the past. I go on to, while I was still in the air, I go on to read about the host that had invited me there. And I'd already gone to South Africa 3 or 4 times at this point. I was always hosted by Black individuals, community organizations, or grassroots. And as I'm looking through the folder, I'm like, oh, if I'm being hosted by a white organization, then I know they really are going to reach across the lines just because I just felt it. And lo and behold, beautiful blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman was the founder picture. And I'm like, whoa, I had read none of this before I left. So I was nervous. I didn't know how to facilitate a conversation of healing cultural wounds. I knew how to heal. I hadn't done that, and I definitely hadn't done it in South Africa. I go on to teach. I throw out everything that I brought, and I just started creating stuff. At the first couple of workshops, I fumbled a bit because I didn't realize how deep it was, how visceral it was, and how the lines were so thick. I only had my reference point, which wasn't anything like the experience and the reference point that was in Johannesburg, Soweto. And this tour was traveling. So we went around Port Elizabeth, Cape Town, Johannesburg, Soweto. to many places. And I ended up there on Mother's Day. And it was the first Mother's Day that I was away from Jelani, and I was having a difficult time. Plus the conversation was heavy. The healing was profound. I had never seen healing like this occurred, and I was just blown away that I was a part of it and that I was facilitating it and that it was occurring around me. And every night I went back to my room and I would, excuse the details, but I would throw up and I would be nauseous and I would shake. And I knew that it was all of the hurt that I was pulling off of them. I was a container for it, and so that they can release it. And then I had to find a way to release it. At this time in my career, I didn't know how to release it. I didn't know how to Reiki myself. I didn't know how to clear my energy. I didn't know how to press reset on my body. So at night I was struggling a lot. I couldn't talk to Jelani on Skype. My mom would normally Skype me. I couldn't even Skype Jelani, who was very young. He was under 11 years old at the time. And so we were there on Mother's Day, and I'm struggling because I'm feeling really guilty as a mom. And I remember people bringing me little small gifts, and we had been doing this tour all around, and the tour happened twice. So we go around and we tell everyone we're going to come back and we're going to do a longer one, and then we come back around. So we're on our second round. I was really exhausted. Oh, I didn't tell you this. On the second or third day, the volunteer that had come to Africa, South Africa with me, was so debilitated with the pain that she had witnessed in the room, and she was immobilized, and she was non-functioning, and she just could not produce and function. So I actually sent her home, and now I was there by myself. So here we are on Mother's Day, and I was just sharing with the room transparently I was struggling, and we moved past that, and we're talking about life and love and healing across cultural lines, and I'm doing exercises with them, and everyone's crying, and for the very first time an African is talking to an Afrikaan, a black woman is talking to a white man for the first time in her life. A Indian woman is sharing with a colored woman, and those are the different distinctions and labels that they have there. They're talking for the first time, and a black woman is speaking to a white woman, and in a space of healing, not hate. And I'm facilitating this, and I'm just blown away, and I'm almost overwhelmed. And I remember on this particular day, everyone was talking about their names and what their names mean. And everyone had beautiful meanings for their names. And I remember I said, my name is Lisa, and it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't have any particular meaning. And this beautiful elderly white woman, she stood up, and her long gray hair came down past her elbows. And she said, "Excuse me, darling." That's how I heard her. She just sounds so regal. She sounds so regal in my head. She goes, Lisa. Li means life of. SA means South Africa. You will be the new life of South Africa. And she went on to say some other things, but I promise you, I felt like I heard Charlie Brown's parents talking after that. Wah, 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 wah. I didn't hear anything she said. And then all of a sudden she came back into focus, and I can hear, and she said, "You are breathing life into our people again." That we knew it would need to come at the hands of a woman, and a woman who wasn't born here and didn't live through this pain, but can bring new hope and new life. And you came. Rocked my world. She rocked my world. See, I remember, and 91 and 92, 93, I was just trying to get my own life. I was trying to not lose my life to my thoughts and my negative thinking. You never, ever could have told me. Now, I don't know whether L-I means life of, but that day it did. For that woman to tell me that I represented a version, an opportunity for new life in South Africa. And so many people do, but that I would be considered amongst that equation. Honestly, I would love to tell you that it got me on a charge and it made me go out and create content and come back 20 times over the next 10 years. But that would be a lie. Actually, she scared me. Those words scared me. The fact that the whole room agreed and applauded scared me. The fact that I would be called to heal cultural wounds that run so deep, such hurt. See, there's a calling on your life, and at times you don't even understand or believe you can deliver on that calling. Over 10 years ago when I was in South Africa, you couldn't have told me. I went through with it because I was there. I couldn't get out. I didn't know how to get out of it, so I went through it, but I didn't know if I could do it. I felt like I held my breath. I was there for 28 days and we did 25 healing sessions. I left and I didn't go back for years, nearly 10 years. Not because I haven't wanted to go back to South Africa and any of the areas near there. It's because I wanted to be sure that if that's the calling on me, I want to go grow up, learn some new skill sets, be ready, evict my fears. So that experience taught me that truly with knees knocking and teeth chattering, feeling really, really scared, you still can really help people while you even figure out how you're going to do it right or better or your version of perfect. Your imperfection can help people. South Africa and so many other places now. And the beautiful people in Johannesburg, Soweto, Port Elizabeth, Cape Town, they saw a hope and a light in me that I was still getting a glimpse of. And for the last 10 years, I've borrowed the light. I'll never forget the woman, the silver-haired woman, standing about 5'8" in front of me, telling me that I bring life. It's one of my fondest memories. And I think of it not in a rah-rah, like yay. I think of it in a, it's okay to run while you're discovering. And it's okay to not see what everyone else sees in you. And it's okay to keep moving until you can get a glimpse of what they see. And it's okay to grow into your calling. And it's okay to turn around and say, okay, now I'm really ready. Because I think 20 years into doing this work, now I'm really ready to just get started So I hope that you enjoy some of the memories that have helped to shape the last 20 years. I hope that they inspire you. I hope that you can find your story in mine. And most of all, I hope that it inspires you to share your own story. I appreciate you. I believe in you. I honor you. And I love you. More great memories to come.